So the second he dropped the ultimate breakup bomb, Serafina finally noticed his ring finger. The engagement ring? Gone. She completely lost her mind and screamed, "Where is your engagement ring?" But he just swatted her hand away and shot back, "Well, where is yours?" No lie. Her face turned this hilarious shade of pale, then green. She literally sprinted into the bedroom, tearing the place apart while he just stood there watching her completely lose it. Honestly, finding that would be a miracle. A month ago, her precious childhood bestie had sent him a picture of her ring, and as for his own ring? Yeah, her bestie took that away from him a long time ago too. Okay, here is the real drama. Right before their party, her childhood bestie made a bet with him. 7 whole times. The toxic bestie bet that the fiancé would abandon him and literally walk out of their own party. Remembering all those anniversaries and birthdays where Serafina totally ghosted him, he accepted the bet. This time, the stakes were his absolute despair over her. So every single time she abandoned him for her precious bestie, he would send her a number. She actually asked him what he meant when he joked, "Every time you stab me in the heart, I'll keep a tally. When it hits 100 stabs, the me who loved you is dead, and I will not need you." But at 99? She did not even care. Even at 100. She literally did not care. Well, until the day of their actual engagement party. Just one call from her bestie, and Serafina canceled their whole wedding. The heart that loved her for 7 years finally dried up and died. She knew leaving him at their engagement party would destroy his dignity and turn him into a massive joke. Even though he literally begged her, Serafina just coldly dropped one heartless sentence, "The engagement is off," and walked out. Immediately, a smug text from Quinn popped up saying, "I win." He just smiled bitterly. He spent 7 years trying to warm her freezing heart, only to end up looking like the ultimate clown. One call from Quinn, and Serafina would literally throw him away like trash at any second. It did not matter if it was his birthday, their anniversary, or a special date. And now, at their actual engagement party, she did not hesitate to throw him under the bus. The pain was just completely unreal. But honestly, he felt this massive wave of relief. He had stubbornly clung to this toxic garbage for 7 long years. For 7 years, he swallowed his pride and took her cold attitude. Honestly, he hit his limit ages ago. This engagement party was her final test. And clearly, Serafina could not care less about him. So he took a deep breath, opened their chat, and fired off one final text. "Let's break up." The second it sent, he blocked her, grabbed his bags, and headed out. But then, a nasty laugh echoed behind him. A sound he absolutely hated for 7 straight years. It was Serafina's awful cousin, Veronica. This girl literally worshipped her cousin Serafina like she was some kind of goddess. To Veronica, her cousin deserved a literal king, not a country bumpkin like him. Because of that, she picked fights with him constantly over the years. She strutted over, looking smug as hell. "Oh, the engagement is off. How humiliating. Trying to sneak away quietly? Don't worry, I won't let you leave that easily." Then she clapped her hands. "Everyone, come out!" And instantly, 6 of her trashy friends rushed out to surround him. They aimed their phones right at his face, ready to film. Veronica smirked with pure evil. "Getting dumped feels great, right, Thomas?" The rest of them laughed, looking at him with pure mockery. His heart was totally numb, but he just crossed his arms and smirked at her. "How does it feel? Not great? But I bet even that is nothing compared to the feeling of being an illegitimate child like you." The whole room instantly froze solid. Veronica's face turned completely white. Sure, she was her cousin, but they had zero actual blood connection because her mother had a scandalous affair. Talk about massive drama. That was her deepest, most humiliating secret, and she went absolutely ballistic. "You're dead," she screamed, raising her hand high to throw a massive slap at his face. But he was not playing around. He casually dodged and planted a swift kick right into her stomach. She stumbled back and collapsed onto the floor, looking up in pure shock. "You dare hit me? Aren't you scared I will tell my sister?" He just glared. "Grow up, you giant baby. I only tolerated you for Serafina. Now that I do not even want her, why would I tolerate you?" He did not waste another breath. He grabbed his suitcase to leave while Veronica screeched at the top of her lungs. "Oh, so you think you're tough? Fine. Don't come crawling back, crying and begging my sister to take your pathetic self in." Thomas stopped in his tracks, and Veronica looked completely disgusted, though you just know she was already regretting being such a brat. She actually called him a shameless dog, and said, "If you don't want me snitching, get down and lick my shoes right now." She said she might generously let him off. But then, Thomas just smirked, looking straight at her friend who was recording the whole thing. He stared right into the camera and declared, Thomas, am totally done with Serafina. No way he is marrying her now." Fast forward to next morning, and toxic queen Serafina finally rolls back to her villa. She slumps on the couch, looking exhausted, and demands in her usual icy tone, "Thomas, come massage my head." But absolutely nothing happens. What she didn't realize is things have changed. Normally, the second she walked in, our boy would rush over, massage her shoulders, and beg for her attention. But today, that massive mansion was dead silent. Thomas was nowhere to be found. Only the housekeeper, Auntie Martha, stood awkwardly by the kitchen, looking totally terrified. She timidly whispers that Thomas hasn't been home since yesterday, making Serafina instantly look super annoyed. She probably thought he was just throwing another childish tantrum, but when she opened their chat, she saw his breakup text. Serafina literally laughs out of pure irritation. She instantly grabs her phone and calls her secretary. She orders Lucy to book a flight to America for business. Auntie Martha feels so bad she actually steps in. She asks if she is seriously not worried that Thomas was gone all night, especially since they just called off their massive engagement. Serafina definitely knew exactly what the housekeeper was trying to say. She just sneered and coldly replied that she does not have time to baby him, before walking out. She figured a 1-week trip would give him time to cool down. In her mind, he would definitely come crawling back to her. Meanwhile, Thomas was already on a flight back to his hometown, Tuangphan. Stepping into his cozy home in Tuangphan, he finally felt that warm sense of belonging he had missed for 7 years in the city. But right as he goes to open his door, his neighbor's door flies open, and someone rushes out. Recognizing her instantly, he calls out Bianca's name. But you guys, she was in a total state of panic. Hearing his voice, she whips her head around in shock. Seeing him smiling there, she gasps, "Thomas, you are back." He chuckles and says yes. See, Bianca was like a big sister who watched him grow up, and they always had this wholesome bond. But because he spent the last few years being a simp for Serafina in the capital, they barely talked. Bianca is literally stunned for a second, and then absolute joy just lights up her face. She practically sprints over and drops a total bomb, begging him to marry her right now. Thomas jumps back because what? But Bianca quickly explains through her tears that it is an emergency. Her brother Arthur was in a terrible accident overseas and left a baby behind. She desperately needs to go rescue the child. But the laws there say she has to be married to adopt. She literally has no other options. She begs him to sign a marriage license, promising they can get divorced the second they return. She was completely desperate, and Thomas got this awful gut feeling. His voice started shaking. He asks about Arthur, and she crying says he is gone. Thomas is completely frozen. Arthur was like an older brother to him. He was always so strong and kind, and Thomas never imagined things would end like this. His late brother's baby was stuck in a dangerous situation, and they had to save that child no matter what. He tells her to wait while he grabs his ID to go sign those papers. And honestly, getting married is actually super easy. You just go to the registry office, take a photo, read some vows, and get it notarized. They stamp it with a red seal, and boom, they are married. Bianca grabs the certificate, thanks him, and sprints to the airport. Time was literally ticking, and every single second meant that poor baby was in serious danger. A whole week passes, and Serafina finally rolls back from America in her luxury ride, checking her watch. Since it is dinner time, she tells her assistant Lucy to call Thomas and tell him to meet her at Starlight Restaurant. Lucy immediately tries to call him, but guess what? Absolutely no one is picking up. She frowns and tells Serafina that Thomas isn't answering, making the toxic queen immediately scowl. She was actually holding this expensive gift box with a luxury watch she bought for him at an auction in America. She knew she totally messed up by canceling their engagement and wanted to apologize, but since he's ignoring her, she is absolutely fuming. What happens next? Find out in the next part. She literally slammed that gift box shut, face icy cold, and ordered everyone back to the villa. Finally, her fancy Maybach pulls up, and she steps out looking like an absolute ice queen. The entire mansion is buzzing with maids. So she storms into the kitchen to demand, "Where is Thomas?" Auntie Martha looks instantly panicked and confesses that Thomas has not been back once since that day. She is like, "I have called him 1,000,000 times and he won't answer. What if he does something crazy?" Serafina just scoffs, totally unfazed. He would not. After all, Thomas was always her little optimistic sunshine boy. Like, a guy like him would never do something that stupid. But maybe canceling the engagement actually broke him. So, Serafina sighs, pulls out her phone, and texts him. She literally texts him, "Come back, and I will make it up to you with a bigger party." But then, boom, a giant red exclamation mark appears. Turns out, he blocked her. She literally laughs out of pure rage. Like, he used to throw tantrums before, but he had never ever blocked her. She does not even care. She just finds it totally ridiculous and turns to her assistant. Lucy, standing by the door. Find out where Thomas is, she orders. And boom, Lucy finds out he ran back to his countryside hometown. Serafina is just laughing at this point. Like, what is he even trying to pull? Running to the middle of nowhere. She tells Lucy to go fetch him. Meanwhile, Thomas has been living his absolute best life there for a whole week. The yard was a total mess, so he hired a crew to renovate it and planted his favorite flowers, camellias. He even made space for some chili peppers. In just one single week, the garden went through a total glow-up. Plus, he was already scouting around town for the perfect little shop. He wanted to open a flower shop. But as he is watering his plants, there is a knock at the door. He thinks it is the delivery guy, but opens it to find assistant Lucy, standing there in a full business suit. Immediate eye roll. He literally tries to slam the door in her face, but she blocks it with her hand. She is like, Thomas, Serafina sent me to bring you back. Since he cannot close the door, he just crosses his arms and smirks. Oh, get on your knees and beg me, then maybe I will go. You can see Lucy literally losing her mind in anger. She snaps, Thomas, you need to understand that your relationship with Serafina has never been equal. Her sending me to pick you up is already a massive favor. If you keep throwing this childish tantrum, you are only going to hurt yourself. People need to know their place. But Thomas just raises an eyebrow, completely unbothered. Honestly, sending Lucy meant Serafina was actually putting her pride aside for once in 7 years. But does he care? Not at all. He gives her a deadpan stare. Oh, I know my place perfectly, which is exactly why I dumped her. And you better know your place too, Lucy. Get off my property right now before I unleash the dogs on you. Lucy is absolutely seething with pure arrogance. You are just playing hard to get, Thomas. You think you are so smart, right? Do you seriously think she cares? If she did, she would not have canceled the engagement in the first place. So, drop the act. Do not push your luck. Inside, Thomas is screaming, his heart literally shattering into a million pieces. That canceled engagement destroyed his dignity, but honestly, he was the one who acted like a desperate simp for 7 straight years. He put himself in such a pathetic position that even her employees thought they could treat him like actual garbage. But then, he just chuckles and points to the second floor of his house. Look up. What do you see? Lucy looks up, sees a security camera staring right back at her, and instantly panics. He just smiles back, completely smug. What do you think happens if I send this video of you begging me to Serafina? Or just post it online? You are literally just an expensive lapdog that Serafina pays to feed, nothing more. Who gave you the right to act like you run the show? Let me make this clear. We are done. Get lost right now, and I will pretend you never showed up. Otherwise, the internet is going to see your true colors. Lucy turns bright red with rage. She glares at the camera, and literally spits out the most toxic threat ever. You better keep that same energy. Do not ever come crawling back to Serafina. Remember your place, loser. You could never compare to Quinn. You do not deserve her. She struts away, and he follows her out the door. He just smiles wickedly and says, watch your step, do not fall. And the exact second he says it, she trips. She literally face plants right into the dirt in the most embarrassing way possible. But wait, it gets so much worse. Oof. Talk about a brutal faceplant. When she finally looked up, her face was totally wrecked. She glared at me with pure hatred, muttered, you jinx, and then limped away clutching her face. I was screaming inside. My crazy crow's beak jinx power was back. A gift I had since I was a kid. When I first hit the capital, I was totally fearless, literally afraid of nothing. But Serafina absolutely hated that. She was always lecturing me about my jinxes causing trouble. I started hating myself. And boom, my power just completely vanished. No way did I expect it to return today. I just shrugged, walked back to my cozy yard, and happily started gardening again. Plus, they couldn't even call me. I literally threw my phone into the capital's moat the second I escaped. Meanwhile, a bruised and broken Lucy dragged herself into her car to call the boss lady, Mrs. Serafina. Mr. Thomas is refusing to come back, followed by an agonizingly long, awkward silence. Lucy timidly whispered, Mrs. Serafina, if he really doesn't want to come back, then maybe we should. But Serafina's icy voice snapped back. Find a way to bring him back. Beg him if you must. She hung up immediately, leaving a pale, terrified Lucy sitting in the car. She squeezed her phone, trying not to cry. Meanwhile, back at my place, I heard yet another knock on the door. I honestly thought my garden soil had arrived, but nope. I opened the door to see Lucy's swollen, beaten-up face. I was so annoyed. Why haven't you crawled away yet? Lucy was absolutely screaming inside, but she bowed super low to me. She went, Mr. Thomas, my attitude earlier was totally wrong. Please be the bigger person and do not stoop to my level. Miss Serafina really cares about you. She is waiting for you. Please come back. Honestly, I was actually shocked by this. Like, I never expected Serafina to make Lucy swallow her pride this hard. It seemed like she literally couldn't let me go. But too bad, I don't need her. I slammed the door right in her face. But Lucy was like a total leech stuck to my door. Since I couldn't shake her, I grabbed a bag, snuck out the back, and escaped. Lucy literally stood guard for a whole day. When she realized I hadn't walked out once, she knew she had been completely played. Cue the massive panic attack. She slowly realized things were totally spiraling out of control. Right on cue, Serafina called. She answered instantly, and Serafina snapped. Did you bring him back? Lucy swallowed hard, sweating bullets. No, ma'am. Mr. Thomas secretly bought a ticket to Vanthan. Serafina hung up immediately, her gorgeous face turning absolutely icy with rage. She immediately dialed my number, but it just rang and rang until it timed out. Yeah, I was totally ghosting her. Staring at her blank screen, she completely masked her anger and called her other assistant, Luke. Track Thomas down in Vanthan immediately. Book the earliest flight. I'm going to get him myself. Luke paused in shock for a second before replying, Yes, ma'am. Meanwhile, yours truly was busy mapping out a gorgeous road trip through the beautiful scenic routes of Vanthan. I was planning to spend a month or two just traveling around. Honestly, the insane mountains and crystal clear rivers here made all my toxic ex-drama feel totally irrelevant. After a full day of vibing, I got back to my homestay at around 9 p.m. But the second I walked into the living room, my heart dropped. There she was. I literally rubbed my eyes, staring in absolute disbelief. Serafina? Why are you here? She was holding her phone, dialing someone. She looked up, her icy, terrifying gaze locking right onto me at the entrance. Why did your phone not ring? I froze, then shrugged. Threw that number away. She just nodded and put her phone down. She went, I will buy you a new one when we get back. Pack up, you are coming home with me. I smirked, taking a giant step back. Serafina, we literally broke up. She just scowled. Are you really mad over one cancelled engagement party? You are seriously holding a grudge for this long? I stayed dead silent. She marched over to me and let out a sigh. I will throw you a bigger engagement party to make it up to you. Stop acting mad. See? I even came all the way out here to find you. I literally laughed out loud. Like, I should be grateful? Thanks for your rich girl charity, but I do not need your handouts, and I do not need you. It is over. Hearing that, her patience completely snapped. Her face turned completely frozen. Break up? Please, like you could ever survive without me. Her voice was so toxic and arrogant. Those words felt like a direct stab straight to my chest. I took a deep breath, looked her dead in the eyes, and went, watch me. I pointed at the door. Leave. My totally calm, cold gaze actually made her proud expression twitch in shock. For 7 years, I was basically her loyal golden retriever, always warm. But now? I was a total stranger, staring her down with an icy glare that absolutely shook her to the core. She was squirming in pure discomfort, her stomach cramping up so bad she was literally rubbing her temples. Thomas, stop throwing a tantrum. You know I am busy, and do not have time to cuddle. Just be a good boy. And honestly, her exhaustion was so real. She took a red-eye, got to the homestay past 10 a.m., and stayed up all night just waiting for him. She was actually showing some vulnerability. Honestly, he should have just taken the easy exit and gone back. But instead, Thomas backed away and looked at her with absolute zero love in his eyes. Serafina, I do not need you to cuddle me. You did not before, and I do not need it now. We end here. And he turned to leave. He said, if you won't leave, I will. But right as he turned around, bam! A loud thud echoed. He spun around and oh my god, Serafina literally collapsed. Right on cue, her assistant Luke rushed past to grab her. Luke was freaking out, asking if she was okay. And then he yelled at Thomas, Miss Serafina took a red-eye flight just to find you. She has not even had a sip of water since yesterday. He screamed that Thomas was just straight up cold-blooded. But Thomas was so unbothered. He just calmly called an ambulance, explained the situation, hung up, and that was it. Like, calling for help is not exactly cold-blooded, right? Then he walked away, leaving Luke staring in absolute shock. Luke yelled, are you not going to the hospital? But Thomas kept walking, saying, I am not a doctor. What good would he even do? Meanwhile, Serafina was curling up in pain, watching him walk away through blurry eyes. Honestly, running into his ex was a massive buzzkill. He totally lost the vibe for Vanthan, so he grabbed a cab straight to Hothan. No way was he letting her ruin his vacation. Meanwhile, Serafina was hooked up to an IV at the hospital, finally getting some of her color back. Luke bought her some porridge, telling her the doctor said she needed warm food for her stomach. She slowly opened her eyes, sat up in bed, and took the bowl from Luke to open it. And brace yourselves, it was just basic millet porridge. Zero smell, zero appeal. See, every single time she was hospitalized before, Thomas was always there taking care of her. His porridge was always sweet, smelling amazing, and served perfectly. She shut her eyes, but she could only see him walking away without a single care. He had never been this cold to her. Choking down a bite, she asked, "Where is he?" Luke told her he already left for Hothan. Serafina literally froze, then let out a bitter laugh. She muttered, "He runs fast." Luke hesitated, then said, "Miss Serafina, Thomas is clearly just playing hard to get. If you keep letting him," but Serafina glared at him with icy cold fury. She snapped, "Assistant Luke, since when is it your job to lecture me on my life?" Luke jumped, quickly bowing his head to apologize, but she coldly ordered him to just get out right now. Luke slinked out looking pale, but inside, he was literally boiling with toxic rage. So he called someone named Quinn, while Serafina finished her food and tried to get some rest. But right then, her phone rang with Quinn's name, and he answered with a super weak voice. He complained about chest pains, but Serafina just calmly told him she was in Vanthan. She told him to let Holly check it, but Quinn kept pushing, begging her to come see him, because he needed her. Serafina hesitated, then rejected him. The line went totally dead silent after that. Quinn asked what she was doing there, so she admitted Thomas was there, making Quinn sound super guilty. He was like, "Did you cancel the engagement party because of my medical emergency? Is that why Thomas is mad?" He blamed himself, but Serafina frowned, telling him it was her own decision and had nothing to do with him. She added, "He is mad because of me. You do not need to apologize. Just focus on yourself." Then Quinn literally started crying over the phone, asking how he could forget it was her engagement day with Thomas. She was getting a massive headache but still patiently tried to calm his dramatic self down. But the very next second, the doctor's frantic voice screamed through the phone. Quinn passed out, making Serafina's heart drop as Holly grabbed the phone. Yelling that Quinn got so agitated, he fainted, making Serafina stress hard because his health is super weak. She told Holly to take care of him, but the doctor just got even more angry, screaming, "How can you be so stupid? Thomas is just throwing a tantrum. He cannot live without you and will be back." So Holly is literally like, "Quinn needs you the most right now. Put him first." Serafina is completely exhausted, and everyone is looking at our boy Thomas like he is just some toxic troublemaker. But in Serafina's mind, Thomas was supposed to be this perfectly gentle, obedient, and quiet puppy. She seriously believes she did everything for him, but then she snaps, and her voice goes completely cold. "Holly, I can't keep putting Quinn first forever. I actually want to get married and have kids someday. My future family is going to be my real priority. And about staying with Quinn, you are literally a doctor. You can take care of him way better than me." Then she hangs up, and Quinn heard every single word from his hospital bed. His pale face went completely white. Our little drama king was shook. Dr. Holly was absolutely floored by this, so she immediately tried to comfort him. "Quinn, please don't overthink it. You are still number one to Serafina. It is just that Thomas is actually mad this time. She is just trying to calm him down." But under the blankets, Quinn is seething, looking totally evil. Meanwhile, our boy Thomas is busy visiting a million flower shops and collecting business cards. He is trying to secure suppliers for his new Twankthton shop, getting so busy he literally loses track of time. Everyone on the internet was hyping this crazy famous steakhouse in Hoathan. You literally had to win a lottery just to get a table. It is that exclusive. So he entered the drawing before reaching Hothan, and boom. A text comes in. He won a 7 p.m. slot. See? Dumping a toxic ex literally upgrades your luck. That evening, he finally arrives at the steakhouse. He shows his reservation number, number 9, and the waiter instantly treats him like royalty. "Please follow me, Mr. Thomas." They lead him to this private dining room, which is weird since he is eating solo. Like, why the private room? But then he steps inside, sees who is waiting, and tries to bolt. Too bad, the door slams shut. It will not even budge. He literally laughs out of sheer frustration. He turns around, crosses his arms, and glares at Serafina, who is sitting there looking like a whole queen. What is the meaning of this? She just points to the empty chair and says, "Sit down and eat your steak." He shrugs. "Sorry, I do not make a habit of dining with my ex. Honestly, it makes me sick." Serafina just looks at him stone-faced and says, she never agreed to break up. He literally laughs. A breakup only requires one person to agree. Then she stands up, softening her voice a bit. "Canceling our engagement party was a mistake. Making you suffer is on me. and it will not happen again. I will throw an even grander party to make it up to you. But Thomas throws his hands up in an X shape. Stop, we are done. You and Quinn are a match made in heaven, and I was just a useless third wheel. Since I broke up with you, consider that party a gift to him. Please just go get married and stop bothering me, okay? Serafina looks totally helpless. I have told you a million times, Quinn is just like a younger brother to me. I have zero romantic feelings for him. Why will you not believe me? Thomas literally rubs his forehead. Seriously, communicating with her about Quinn was a lost cause, so he just flat out shrugs. Whatever you guys are is your business, not mine. Since we are done, let us stop dragging this out. She sneers. Am I the one dragging this out? Over the last 7 years, who was actually dragging who down? Ouch. His heart completely sinks as memories of the last 7 years flash by, making him want to slap himself. Realizing she totally messed up and spoke out of line, she tries to backpedal. But Thomas looks straight at her with cold eyes. You are right. For 7 years, I was dragging you down. I will swallow that bitter pill. Her face turns completely icy. You call our 7 years a bitter pill? But he did not want to keep arguing. He just taps on the door, gesturing for her to open it, while she tries to swallow her absolute rage. She did not want to argue about the breakup either, knowing she was totally in the wrong this time. She thought it was fine for him to throw a tantrum, but this was too much. She points coldly, sit and eat. He knew her game too well. In the past, as long as she stayed cold and ignored him, he would eventually calm down and everything would go back to normal. Before, he was literally drowning in self-doubt and self-hatred. But now, he sees right through her toxic silent treatment. Will Thomas actually escape? Or is she about to drag him back down? This toxic girl gave me the silent treatment for 7 whole years. So I just smiled, pointed at the door, and told her to scram. I literally just said the word fall, and boom, a massive crash echoed right from the door. Every single screw popped out, flying everywhere, and then the entire door slammed forward with a huge crash. Absolute madness. Serafina was completely shook. She knew my literal jinx superpower was back, and she was terrified of my curses. She used to find it funny, but then she started hating it and calling it nonsense. So I just smirked back at her like, who is laughing now? Yep, my power is back, so you need to pack your bags, sign the divorce papers, and stop bothering me. Unless you want your precious little brother Quinn to have a little accident. You already know my curses actually work. She traveled all this way just to find me, probably feeling super guilty about our toxic engagement. But now, I was using her biggest weakness against her. There was no way she could refuse, because Quinn was her absolute favorite person. I looked over and, oh my god, she was absolutely fuming. Inside, I was literally laughing my head off. So her little brother is still her number one. I turned around to walk away, but she grabbed my wrist super tight. I frowned and yelled, Serafina, what are you doing? Let go of me! Her stone-cold face did not change. She literally dragged me out, shoved me into her car, and locked the doors. Don't move, she snapped. I glared at her like, what do you even want from me? She ignored me and just told the driver to step on it. The car sped off. I was so angry I could barely breathe. We just sat on opposite sides in awkward silence. She was tapping her fingers. Honestly, if this was the past, I would have been desperate, begging her for forgiveness and telling jokes. Just trying anything to make her smile and stop being mad at me. But not this time. We drove straight to the airport. For an hour and a half, not a single word was spoken. I kept my mouth shut. Honestly, you and I know she only found me because her family has a massive database tracking my every move. Literally, the second I used my ID or walked past a security camera, she knew exactly where I was. She actually chartered a private jet. She dragged me on board, and this fancy plane even had 2 private flight attendants. I didn't care. I marched straight to the bed in the back and just passed out. Honestly, those 7 years of dealing with her had drained my entire soul. I was done stressing myself out. Since I couldn't escape right now, I decided to just let her take me back. Seeing me ignore her made her absolutely furious, but she swallowed her anger and just gave this sad, defeated smile. She dismissed the flight attendants to the back. Then she crawled into bed with me, sliding her hand under my shirt. I literally shoved her away instantly. She glared at me, looking absolutely furious. She was like, who drugged who back then to get into my bed? Isn't this exactly what you wanted? Hearing her bring that up made me snap. I yelled, Serafina, I loved you back then, but I actually had some self-respect. I would never drug someone. Do you seriously think you are that special? Am I really that desperate for you? And honestly, you are terrible in bed. You literally lie there like a log. Trust me guys, this whole drama started 3 years ago. We went to this fancy banquet, and I poured her a glass of wine, having no clue someone had actually spiked it. She got super hot, lost her mind, and dragged me into a room without letting me speak. That was our first night together. Back then, I was honestly so happy. But the next morning, Veronica pointed at my face, called me cheap, accused me of drugging her cousin, and called me human trash. I was shocked. Everyone was gossiping, saying I was so desperate to be with her that I would resort to drugging her. It was crazy. I was totally panicked. I just wanted to tell Serafina that I was innocent, that I had absolutely no idea how that drug got in her wine glass. She literally smiled and told me she knew I had nothing to do with it. I thought she actually believed me. But nope, she never did. You and I can see right through her now. She was like, "What did you just say?" I laughed. "You really thought I was excited for our scheduled hookups every month? Could you seriously not tell I hated it?" She is obsessed with control and has these ridiculous rules for her life. Even bedroom time was strictly scheduled on the 1st and 15th of every single month. If she was busy or on her period, we just skipped it. So yeah, we barely did anything over 3 years. Veins popped on her forehead. She was totally overwhelmed and powerless. This was the exact moment she realized she lost her grip on me. I was a completely different person, and she could not hold on. It was like the love just died instantly, and she suddenly clutched her chest in shock. She is feeling this massive, terrifying drop in her stomach like she fell off a cliff. Like, girl, it was just an engagement party, right? Why is she spiraling? Meanwhile, back at the villa, sweet Auntie Martha is looking at Thomas with pure pity, telling our boy to eat some porridge and get his strength back. And honestly, the poor guy really needed it. His crow's beak power could easily curse Serafina, but magic like that always has a price. So he just downs the food, sets the bowl down, and gives a sweet smile. "Thanks, Auntie Martha. You work so hard," he says, and she gently tells him to just rest up. "Your health is everything," she says. He nods, but meanwhile, Serafina is in a private lounge literally chugging glasses of hard liquor like there is no tomorrow. Her bestie, Chloe, slides in next to her and is like, "What is this? Are we actually drinking away our sorrows? This is so not like you, girl." But Serafina completely ignores her, slamming back another straight shot of whiskey. She literally cannot stop seeing Thomas's angry, resentful eyes in her head. And for once, this cold girl is actually feeling a suffocating pain. Chloe just shrugs and pours another round, which Serafina immediately vacuums down the second it hits the glass. Chloe dryly warns her, "Look, your stomach is trash. Slow down, before your house manager starts nagging you again." Serafina literally freezes at that, her voice cracking as she whispers that he won't be doing that anymore. Chloe raises an eyebrow and brings up Thomas, because let's be real, everyone in high society knew about their insane drama. Like, who casually cancels a massive engagement party on a whim? The second Thomas packed his bags and left town, the entire city started placing bets on how fast he would crawl back. Even Chloe joined in. Literally every rich snob in town placed a bet. Chloe gave him 10 days, while others bet 1, 2, or 3 days max. Nobody thought he would last past 5 days? So with so much cash on the line, everyone was watching. And when she dragged him back today? Absolute shock. They all thought he would come crawling back like a loser. Not that the Ice Queen herself would personally go drag him home. But none of that matters because Chloe won big. Our boy Thomas was actually gone for a whole half a month. Chloe gossips. So, he is actually furious this time. Huh? Still suffocated by his cold attitude, Serafina asks blankly. It was literally just an engagement party. Is he really allowed to be this mad? Chloe just shrugs, like, who knows? If you do not care, whatever. But my little brother has been cursing you out for a literal half a month. Now, Carter is Chloe's brother, and he basically respects absolutely nobody in this city. But somehow, a country guy like Thomas earned his respect, and they became total best bros. He was literally the only guy willing to get angry for Thomas. Meanwhile, Serafina grits her teeth and pours another drink. He wants to break up, she mutters. Chloe freezes. Thomas endured 7 years, and now he is done? She looks at Serafina in complete confusion, like, wait, is not that exactly what you wanted? Serafina gives her the ultimate death stare. Chloe puts her hands up, like, do not look at me like that. This is literally your dream. Thomas was never in our league, okay? Did you actually plan on marrying him? Messing around for a few years was plenty. For marriage, you need someone with actual status. Quinn is right there. But Serafina just snaps her name. That cold snap completely shocks Chloe, who is like, wait, no way. Are you actually caught up on this guy? Serafina stays silent and just takes another sip, proving she is totally stressed. Chloe is genuinely losing her mind over this. Imagine the Ice Queen crying over a guy. Chloe is like, look, as your bestie, let me give you some real advice. Do not catch feelings for Thomas. He is already over it, so you just need to let him walk away. Serafina freezes mid-sip. Facing his freezing, angry glares lately, has not she literally thought about just throwing in the towel herself? She was born at the very top of high society, proud her entire life. He is literally just a dude. If he leaves, find another. But she can't. Just the thought of Thomas leaving makes her chest tighten up like she is suffocating. Chloe actually starts to feel bad for her, saying, look, if you actually caught feelings for Thomas, you are absolutely done for. Because honestly, the fact that Thomas put up with her for 7 whole years is a miracle. Trying to melt a girl this frozen for 7 long years deserves a literal spot in the Guinness World Records, okay? High society used to laugh at Thomas, but oh how the tables have turned. Now, the real joke is Serafina. Chloe realizes her friend is down bad, and all she can do is pray. Because once Thomas decides he is done, he is done. A breakup with him means he is deleting her from his life forever. Serafina just takes another depressing sip. She has 0 words left to explain herself, but the drama is only getting started. So, as you and I watch Chloe drag a wasted Serafina back, our boy Thomas is just chilling on the couch, completely unbothered. Chloe dumps her on the sofa like trash and barks, I brought her back. She is your problem now. She drank too much, so go cook her some hangover soup. Thomas looks at this booze-soaked disaster of a woman, gets up, grabs a random blanket, and literally throws it right over her head, covering her face completely. Then he yells to the kitchen, Auntie Martha, make some hangover soup for Serafina. With that, he just walks upstairs. Chloe is totally stunned and goes, wait, you are not making it? Honestly, back in the day, he would have pampered her, wiped her face, cooked the soup, and stayed by her side with major puppy dog eyes. But now? Not a single second of hesitation. He just shrugs and goes, I am not her maid. Plus, she drank it herself, she is still breathing. He almost added, if she drinks herself to death, that is on her. But that sounded a bit too dark. As Chloe watches him walk upstairs without looking back even once, Chloe finally gets how badly Serafina messed up here. Like, if a literal bystander can feel this terrifying, icy distance, imagine what Serafina is going through right now. Chloe basically says a silent prayer for her, hoping her friend will just accept defeat and end things peacefully with Thomas. Otherwise, Serafina is going to suffer big time. Meanwhile, Thomas heads to his room. Fun fact, they have been dating but sleeping in separate rooms forever. Even on the 1st and 15th, she would immediately bounce back to her own room the second they finished. Suddenly, there is a loud knock on the door, and Serafina slurs, Thomas, open the door right now. Thomas looks completely disgusted. He marches into the bathroom, fills a massive glass with ice-cold water, swings the door open, and splashes it straight in her face. Serafina? If you want to act like a crazy drunk, do it in your own space. Do not bring your mess to my door. Water drips down her gorgeous face, looking like a total ruined masterpiece. Honestly, if this were the old Thomas, he would have rushed to take cute photos to save forever. But now? Pure apathy. He had been madly in love with her since he first saw her at 16. It took him until he was 18 to build up the courage to confess. His entire relentless pursuit was based on her being totally single. And so was he. But wait. There is a twist. When he first realized she had feelings for this guy named Quinn, he wanted to back out immediately. No way was he going to be a third wheel. But Serafina literally promised him, Quinn is just a little brother to me. There is absolutely 0 chance of us ever happening. So he gave her his entire heart, thinking she actually cared. He trusted her blindly. But nope, it was all one-sided, and she treated him like literal garbage. He slams the door in her face. Outside, Serafina wipes off the water, stunned. Plot twist, she was not even that drunk. She just wanted some liquid courage to try and make peace. She lets out a heavy sigh. Looks like his rage over that cancelled engagement is actually super deep. Rubbing her temples, she feels completely helpless. Fine, whatever. She decides to just give him some space to cool off. She plans to move out for a bit, waiting for him to get over his anger. But honestly, Thomas is totally oblivious to her plans. Our boy slept like an absolute baby, woke up at noon, and headed downstairs for a delicious lunch, cooked by Auntie Martha. She brings the food over, but stands there looking super hesitant. Seeing this, Thomas just smiles. Auntie Martha, if you have something to say, just spit it out. It is fine. She hesitates. Thomas, are you and Miss Serafina okay? He shrugs. We broke up. She asks nervously. Is it because of that ruined engagement party? Miss Serafina was definitely wrong for that. He sighs. You could say that, but it is not just that. A heart does not freeze over in one day. For 7 years, I loved her with everything I had, holding absolutely nothing back. But I get tired too. I get hurt, sad, and exhausted. That love was ground down piece by piece until there was literally nothing left. The engagement party was just the final straw. Hearing this, Auntie Martha feels incredibly heartbroken for him. She literally watched him sacrifice his own happiness for years. He just gives her a bright smile. Do not worry, Auntie. I am totally fine. Seriously, you and I can agree that breaking up felt like literal chains being shattered off his body. Auntie suddenly remembers something, runs to the TV cabinet, grabs a box, and hands it over. This is the phone Miss Serafina bought you. Your old SIM card is inside. He does not refuse. He turns it on, logs into WeChat, and instantly, a massive flood of messages blows up his phone. He just glances and swipes them away. Most were sent on the day of the ruined party to mock him, but he cannot be bothered. He finds Carter's contact and shoots him a text. The reply is instant. Bro, I heard Serafina personally brought you back. You are not actually getting back with her, right? Thomas chuckles and types back the most savage response ever. So Thomas is like, my heart is dead. There is zero chance with Serafina. And Carter replies instantly. He is like, bro, any girl who makes you forget Serafina must be top tier. Don't be sad. I will introduce you to some high-quality girls. Thomas just laughs. But then, a call comes in. He sees the number, raises an eyebrow, and actually answers. A screeching female voice blares. Thomas, you are pretty good at playing games, aren't you? You chose to leave quietly, so why did you come crawling back? And our boy just lets out a soft laugh. He is like, Mrs. Taylor, you have eyes everywhere. But you know your own daughter came to get me, right? Don't get too smug. She literally shakes with rage before turning ice cold. Since you are back, get your ass to the main house right now. I have guests today. You come here and serve them. But our boy just sneers. See? Victoria was Serafina's toxic mother. She never respected him and literally bullied him for years, both openly and secretly. But right now, Thomas slowly lets out a wicked smirk. He is like, fine, wait there, I am coming. Victoria impatiently tells him to hurry up and hangs up. Thomas instantly blocks her number. Keep waiting, you old bat, I am never showing up. The drive to the house takes 40 minutes. Mrs. Taylor waits for a whole hour, and our boy is nowhere to be found. Her friend Mrs. Chu laughs and goes, this future son-in-law is not even married yet and he is already ignoring orders? Does he think he runs the family because of Serafina? Like, does he have zero respect for his future mother-in-law? See, Victoria was naturally arrogant and always looked down on him. But now that he dared to stand her up in front of her rich friends, she furiously dials his number again. Sorry, the subscriber you are calling is currently busy. Mrs. Chu literally covers her mouth in pure shock. Like, Victoria, did you just get blocked? Hearing this, Victoria's face turns pitch black. After successfully standing her up, our boy's mood was absolute perfection. He gets dressed and meets Carter for lunch at their usual steakhouse. When Thomas arrives, Carter is already waiting and waving like crazy. Thomas walks over and they do a bro hug. Carter plays it off with fake disgust, but he is smiling and goes, if Serafina had not dragged you back, I would never see you. Thomas raises his hands in surrender. Like, don't mention her anymore. Carter pulls him into a seat. He is like, her bringing you back caused a massive stir. Just her name gives me a headache, but trouble was already coming. Okay, first off, our boy is done talking about his toxic ex. But she is literally a ghost. And boom, his phone goes off. It is Serafina. Talk about an instant migraine. The exact second he calls her a ghost, she actually texts him. He seriously needed to zip his lip before he ruined everything. Carter literally snatches his phone. She wants dinner at Low Fish in 30 minutes. Carter is absolutely shook. What are the odds? Because they are literally sitting in Low Fish right now. Our boy just smirks. She is not making it in time. He screenshots her invite, takes a cheeky selfie at the table, and prepares to cause some absolute chaos. He posts it online, making it visible only to Quinn, who is waiting for her date. Meanwhile, he totally ignores Serafina. Meanwhile, Serafina spent all day getting ready for their dinner. But right as her elevator hits the lobby, her phone starts ringing. It is Quinn. She answers, frowning, as Quinn panics on the line. Serafina, she is here, I see her. She is downstairs looking right at me. She is trying to kill me. Serafina, please save me. Then, the phone drops to the floor in total chaos. Serafina starts rushing, but she keeps her voice completely icy and calm. She tells her driver to head to the club instead. Cruising in her car, she texts our boy, sorry, something came up. Go ahead and eat first. Our boy and Carter see the text right as their food arrives. He just gives a savage, mocking smirk. But Carter? He literally loses his mind. Like, is she actually that awful? He definitely saw our boy's genius little trap. Honestly, pretending he wasn't totally annoyed when she first texted would be a massive lie. But thankfully, it does not hurt like it used to. He knows Quinn always comes first. For 7 long years, he was abandoned at a moment's notice hundreds of times. He is totally numb. Carter clenches his fists, absolutely furious, and tells him not to be sad. Tonight, I am taking you to party with some gorgeous girls. We will invite 10 of them, and you will definitely like one. By the time they finish eating, the sun is down and the nightlife is roaring. They hit up a super exclusive, top-tier VIP club. The models there are all 5'7" and gorgeous. His eyes light up. He grabs Carter's arm, super hyped. Bro, literally all his feelings just went completely numb right then. Our boy is out here literally just vibing, totally oblivious that the rich snobs in the VIP booths are watching. Someone even whispers, "Miss Veronica, look at that guy go." Wait, is that Thomas? Veronica literally whipped her head toward the dance floor the second she heard his name. Spotting him? She was totally ecstatic. She was still holding a massive grudge over him, calling her a bastard child. Now, he was basically serving himself up on a silver platter. She gave her bestie Hin Hin the look, like, go get him. Hin Hin totally understood the assignment and strutted right over while Veronica recorded. Thomas was vibing on the floor when a creepy hand squeezed his waist. He froze and glared around, but everyone was in their own world. Finding the culprit? Literally impossible. He muttered a threat. Whoever just touched me is going to break their leg. Right then, a masked woman nearby literally tumbled right off the raised stage. A horrific shriek cut straight through the loud club music. She screamed about her leg. It was brutal. Hin Hin had twisted her ankle, and everyone heard the bone snap. To make it worse, she landed hand first on a broken glass shard that pierced straight through her palm. Blood was pooling everywhere. It was total chaos. The music cut out, and everyone froze. Security rushed in and carted her off to the hospital immediately. Carter stared at her in shock. Wait, wasn't that Hin Hin? Talk about terrible luck. Thomas spotted Veronica trailing behind her, giving him the ultimate death stare. It was so obvious. Thomas smirked, whispering that it was pure karma. Carter knew something was up and demanded to know what happened. She tried to mess with me, so I cursed her. Carter's jaw dropped. Your crow's beak is back. Honestly, this power is why they even met. Carter was cornered by some scary thugs in an alley. Thomas saved him using his jinx, but then the power vanished, leaving Carter totally bummed. Now? He was ecstatic that it was back. Thomas threw an arm around him, watching Veronica leave. Let me show you another real show, he teased. Walking outside, they saw Veronica driving away. Thomas smirked, remembering he literally just saw her drinking. Drunk driving leads to crashes. Boom. Instantly, Veronica's Mercedes slammed straight into a tree around the curve. The hood started smoking. Carter was literally glowing, hyped that the power was actually back. Thomas dragged him to the wreck. Veronica was bleeding from her head, one leg completely pinned. Hearing footsteps, she weakly begged for help, but her face twisted when she saw Thomas. He faked surprise, saying she looked like she really needed help. Beg me, and maybe I'll save you. She gritted her teeth, snarling. In your dreams. He just shrugged. No begging, no saving. As Thomas turned to leave, she panicked, bleeding and dizzy. Don't go, I beg you. I'll save you, but answer me one thing. She squeezed her eyes shut in pure humiliation. Just ask. He crossed his arms. That spiked wine Serafina drank, did you do it? Her face turned bright red with pure anger. Thomas, if you won't save me, then screw off. Don't pin your own dirty deeds on me. She called him despicable, and her disgust looked totally genuine. Thomas started thinking when he cursed Lucy to fall, she did instantly. But Veronica's crash wasn't fatal, meaning she didn't actually hold extreme malicious intent toward him. He added, if you're lying, this car will burst into flames, pulling Carter back. But nothing happened. Yep, definitely wasn't her. Veronica was absolutely furious, cursing him out. Having his answer, Thomas totally abandoned her. Don't worry, I called the cops, they'll be here soon. But once they test you for drunk driving, you're totally screwed. She seethed as they walked away. Carter eventually asked if it really wasn't her. Thomas nodded. If it was, her car would be in flames right now. Carter was confused but quickly pivoted, promising an even crazier spot. He dragged Thomas to an underground bar that was way wilder than the last place. The models wore basically nothing and were super touchy. It was literally a guy's paradise. Thomas gasped. Bro, you hid this place from me? Carter scoffed. I invited you before. You never came. My bad, totally my bad. Now go, go, I need to get some action. He was staring at a model, reaching his hand out, but at the worst possible second, an angry shout boomed behind them. Nobody move. Hands in the air. Thomas stared at Carter in absolute horror. This place was getting raided. Carter avoided eye contact, coughing awkwardly. Yeah, this place isn't exactly legal. Both of them got hauled to the station for a lecture. Carter sighed. I'll call my sister. Thomas blurted. Ask her to get someone to rescue me too. Carter flashed an okay sign. Meanwhile, Chloe was having drinks with Serafina. Serafina looked completely miserable, and Chloe had absolutely no clue what was wrong. So Chloe has been chugging away her sadness for 2 straight days. Her phone rings. It is Carter on speaker. Sis. I'm at the police station. Can you come get me? Chloe laughs. Got raided. Carter is super embarrassed. Yeah. All right. All right. I will be right there. Then Carter adds. Oh. Thomas is here with me too. Can you find someone to pick him up? Chloe completely freezes and looks at Serafina. She is already staring back with these icy eyes that give her total goosebumps. Chloe quickly tells the phone. That is probably not convenient. I am not his friend nor his guardian. I have got a lot of eyes on me right now. I do not want trouble. Thomas suddenly interrupts. It is fine. I will call someone else. Before Chloe can even hang up, he makes a call. Diana? I am at the police station and ran into some trouble. Can you come pick me up? Chloe hangs up instantly because the death glare in Serafina's eyes is literally freezing the room. You and I know the drama is crazy from her refusing him, to him saying he would call someone else. Serafina is staring intensely at her own phone. But Thomas has zero intention of calling her. He calls his college senior Diana instead. This petty move is top tier, aggressively dancing right on Serafina's absolute bottom line. She abruptly stands up. Where are you going? Chloe asks blankly. Serafina radiates pure coldness. Your brother is at the police station, right? I am going to get him. Carter and Thomas wait. Chloe arrives first, signs the papers, and leads Carter out. He tells him, I will wait for you at the door. Thomas waves him off. Go on. Diana is almost here. But Chloe stays, staring weirdly. You didn't ask Serafina, but called some Diana? Thomas just gives her a total look. Was that so hard to understand? Carter tugs his sister's sleeve. They broke up. Obviously. He is not calling her. Suddenly, Thomas smiles, looking past her shoulder. Diana. Over here. Diana walks over, exuding pure elegance and intelligence. Thomas, I am here. He scratches his head awkwardly. Sorry for bothering you so late, Diana. She smiles gently. It is fine. It is nothing. She signs the papers and gets him out. Knowing the whole story, she teases him. Next time you go out, pick a legal spot. His ears burn red. Getting caught by his admired senior is literally so embarrassing. He waves his hands frantically. Never again. Never again. You and I would be dying too. Ending up at a police station is bad, but asking for a ride is ultimate cringe. I am dying of embarrassment. She looks at him with sweet fondness. It is no big deal. Don't be embarrassed, boys these days. As long as you stay safe and do nothing illegal. Letting loose occasionally is totally fine. He looks at her, deeply moved. Her thoughtful, gentle vibe is practically overflowing. It is late. Let me take you home. He beams. Thanks so much, Diana. From her car, Serafina watches him smiling brightly at another woman. A surge of absolute rage explodes in her chest. She throws the car door open and orders coldly. Get in my car. Carter, Chloe, and Diana are all standing right at the station entrance. Nobody noticed her parked car, so her sudden appearance literally freezes the air. Thomas frowns immediately. Why are you here? Serafina is so mad at this differential treatment that she literally laughs. Chloe quickly tries to smooth things over. When Carter called, I was with Serafina, so she came to get you. Thomas forces a smile and turns to Diana. Diana, I am so sorry for making you come all the way out here. I will treat you to dinner next time. I will head back now. Get home safe. Calling her at this hour makes him feel incredibly guilty. Diana nods. No trouble at all. Call me whenever you need me. Text me when you get home safe. Saying goodbye, Thomas has zero desire to get into Serafina's car, but he does not want a pointless, exhausting argument. He gets in, waving to Carter. See you later. The car speeds off, and the atmosphere inside is suffocating. The driver clearly feels the intense low pressure. Serafina sits with a face made of pure ice. Thomas sits across from her, glued to his phone and ignoring the freezing aura radiating from her until they arrive at the villa. He bolts and heads straight to his room. But just as he goes to close the door, a strong force blocks it. He turns to see a furious Serafina holding the door open, asking coldly, "Why did you not call me?" Thomas feels like she has definitely skipped her meds lately, because she would never ask such a stupid question. "I am tired. I want to rest." Her cold eyes stare back, filled with this stubborn obsession, as if she absolutely must get an answer. A wave of pure annoyance flares up in him, and he just gives her the most sarcastic, petty smirk. "You want to know why? I will show you." Right in front of her, he dials Lucy. It rings forever, before cutting off. Coldly, he dials again, and this time, Lucy picks up. What is about to happen next? "So, I literally just got arrested. You guys, I called her assistant to come bail me out." But then Lucy's toxic voice blasted through the speaker. "Thomas, are you not embarrassed to ask Miss Serafina to pick you up after getting arrested? Like, have some shame." She was like, "Find someone else. Miss Serafina is way too busy to care about you." And then she just hung up. What they didn't know was Serafina's perfect face was finally cracking. She asked why I did not call her directly. I literally just smirked and dialed her number. The second it connected, the robot voice came on. "Sorry, the subscriber you are calling is busy." I crossed my arms with a smug smile. Serafina just stared at her phone like, "Wait, why did his call not go through?" Seeing her look so confused, I had to drop the truth. "You blocked me, bro." She looked shook, then she remembered. She used to find me so annoying that she tossed me on her block list, forcing me to deal with her toxic assistant instead. Talk about a major red flag. She told her assistant never to bother her, unless it was actually important. How long ago was that? 1 year? 2 years? She could not even remember, so she opened the list. My number was just sitting there all alone. I sarcastically asked, "Can I rest now?" She felt so bitter. She looked at me, trying to make excuses for the first time, whispering, "I just forgot." I immediately put my hand up to stop her. "Enough. That is your business, and it has nothing to do with me. Just let me sleep." I slammed the door in her face and locked it. She stood there staring, feeling completely powerless and defeated. She blocked me because she was busy, and I was calling her way too much. She could not deal with it, so she made me talk to her assistant, then completely forgot to unblock me. Maybe she secretly liked the silence. But she never expected her assistant to completely ignore her orders. We all know this was not the first time she ignored me. So Serafina finally called Chloe. She demanded to speak to my brother. Chloe handed him the phone, saying, "Serafina wants you." Carter just smirked. "What does she want?" He picked up, and Serafina asked, "You are close to Thomas, what does he like?" "I want to make it up to him," she said. Carter literally laughed like it was a joke. "He wants freedom, bro. He wants to break up. Do that right now and he will be so happy. He wants nothing else." Honestly, my brother understood me perfectly. He hit the nail on the head. Chloe smacked him for that. "Stop talking nonsense and be serious," she said. Carter sneered, "I am not joking. When he loved her, she did nothing. Now that he is over her, she is doing this useless stuff. Just break up." He threw the phone back, ignoring her. Chloe said helplessly, "He is just talking nonsense, do not mind him." Serafina coldly hung up. She stared up at my closed bedroom door and sighed. In defeat, she called Luke. "Prepare a massive engagement party, bigger than the last. High standards for absolutely everything." Luke was shaking, but he had to ask, "An engagement party with who?" Her voice was ice. "Who else could it be? If not Thomas, then who?" Luke scrambled, "Yes, I get it. I will do it immediately. Everything will be perfect." Luke hung up in shock. "No way this is happening." He called Quinn, saying, "Mr. Quinn, I have news." Next morning, I was half asleep when Victoria's loud screaming literally echoed through the whole house. I tried to ignore her, but she was so loud I could not sleep. I opened my door, eyes barely open. Downstairs, Victoria was having a total tantrum, smashing things while Auntie Martha kept saying, "I do not know." When she saw me, Victoria went completely feral. "Thomas, why did you not show up yesterday? Do you know how much respect I lost?" I just leaned against the railing, smiling. "Mrs. Taylor, respect is something you earn, not something others give you. You got embarrassed because you have no shame. What does that have to do with me?" She got furious. "You are calling me shameless?" I shrugged. "You said it." She literally choked. "How dare you talk to me like that? With your trash background, you want our family's daughter? If you want to marry her, you better obey and serve me. Otherwise, you can keep dreaming." I rubbed my eyes. "Sure. You are totally right. Your fancy family has so many rules and high status. You should find a rich guy for her instead. Honestly, I think Quinn is a perfect match. Go play matchmaker for them." Victoria was completely stunned. She did not expect that reaction at all. Usually, Quinn was a touchy subject that made me explode. But now, I was literally telling her to hook them up. Talk about a plot twist. So I acted totally disgusted by Serafina, and oh my god, she was instantly triggered. She goes, "Thomas, are you even worthy of hating my daughter? She is literally royalty here, and we are top tier." She said marrying her is a blessing from my ancestors. And I am just there nodding like, yep, totally unworthy. I was like, please hook her up with someone else so I can finally leave. Victoria got super suspicious. Talk about hitting a brick wall. My daughter is perfect. What is your deal? I just gave her a blank smile. Like, yeah, she is great. But why do I care? I am not marrying her anymore. Honestly, it kind of hurt. Marrying her used to be my ultimate dream, and I worked myself to death for it. But now? Never happening. We were just too toxic together. Victoria immediately pointed right at the door and yelled, "You said it." She told me to get out of her daughter's house. I was literally thrilled. See ya. I bolted downstairs. I was literally getting evicted, but just as I reached the bottom step, someone snatched my wrist with insane, bone-crushing force. I turned around and met Serafina's icy stare. She was like, "Where do you think you're going?" I was so confused. Why wasn't she at the office? I snatched my hand back and pouted, "Your mom kicked me out." Victoria was shocked to see her too, but quickly recovered, saying, "Serafina, look, Thomas is finally leaving you alone. Tell him to get lost. I will find you a real man. Didn't you always have a crush on Quinn? I'll set you guys up." I stood there nodding like crazy, silently begging Victoria to make it happen. But hearing that, Serafina's gorgeous face instantly went pitch black. She snapped, "Who said I liked Quinn? Stay out of my life. You show up here at sunrise just to cause drama and throw him out of my house. If you cannot act like a proper mother, I'm banishing you back to Dong City." Victoria went completely pale and screamed, "I'm literally your mother. You're shipping me away over Thomas? Are you insane?" Serafina was getting super annoyed. "If you don't walk out that door this second, I'll pack your bags myself." Fuming and totally powerless, Victoria threw me a toxic death glare and stormed out. Old me would have tried to fix this, but their messy family drama is not my problem anymore. I tried to slip away, but Serafina grabbed me again. I was like, "What now?" She gave me this super weird, intense look and said, "Come to the office." I immediately said no way, but her grip squeezed tighter and her voice went dead serious. "You're coming with me, period." I rolled my eyes and said, "Fine, but I can't go in my pajamas." Realizing I was in my nightwear, she let go, saying she'd wait downstairs. I rolled my eyes and went to change. Then I posted a status only Quinn could see. "Serafina is taking me to her office." So fun. Plus a cute selfie. There was absolutely no way that Drama King was going to stay quiet after seeing that. So, we head to her company. She actually holds my hand as we step onto the 58th floor, passing the drama-filled secretary pool. She dragged me right up to her office, but suddenly froze at the doorway. She spun around, walked straight to Lucy, and cold-bloodedly said, "Hand over your stuff. You are fired." Lucy looked completely terrified and started begging, "Miss Serafina, what did I do? Give me one chance." Even Luke tried to defend her. He goes, "Is there some mistake? I trained Lucy myself, and her work is always completely flawless." But Serafina's face was a complete blank slate. She just stared at Lucy with dead eyes. And then she dropped this bomb. "You do not even know what you did wrong, yet you expect to stay. We will pay you your severance. Pack up and get out." Honestly, I was shocked. Why is she suddenly firing Lucy? A crazy thought popped up. Did she do this for me? No way. I immediately threw that ridiculous idea out. I am not that important to her. Okay? Stop being delusional. But then, a panicking Lucy suddenly spotted me standing there. Her brain finally connected the dots, and she glared at me with absolute, pure, venomous hatred. She screamed, "It was you, right? You badmouthed me. You were totally shameless." Hearing that, I snapped back. "You know exactly why you were getting fired. Also, Serafina fired you, not me. Go cry to her. Why are you attacking me?" But she was completely convinced it was my fault. Why else would she get fired out of nowhere? She screamed, "It was you. You absolute trash." Before she could even finish, Serafina literally kicked her. Lucy crashed to the floor in a humiliating pile. Serafina looked down at her. "Who gave you the right to scream at him? If you dare do that to his face, God knows what you did behind my back. Remember yesterday when Thomas got totally mocked by Serafina's assistant instead of getting her help? Yeah, Serafina is absolutely fuming about it now. Get out of my sight." Honestly, the entire room literally froze. But then, Mr. Whiteshirt himself, Quinn, steps up behind Lucy, asking what on earth is going on. Lucy treats him like her literal savior, crying that Serafina is trying to fire her. Talk about drama. While sobbing, she shoots Thomas the ultimate death stare, totally blaming him for her mess. Quinn acts shocked and defends Lucy, whining about how hard she worked to get this job. Such a joke. He glares at Thomas and begs Serafina to give her another chance because her life is so hard. This fake drama has Thomas laughing out loud. Like, give these two an Oscar already. Since they love acting, Thomas decides to play along, mockingly copying Quinn's exact whiny tone. Oh, so leaking contracts and doing illegal side gigs is totally fine because she had a rough childhood? Lucy's jaw literally hits the floor, and Quinn looks at Thomas like he just betrayed the family. He's like, Thomas, you're lying just to get her fired. Bro, the level of denial is insane. You'll get her blacklisted from the whole industry. But Thomas just stands there, smirking. Oh, so now they care about rumors? Hilarious. If Thomas actually had that kind of power, she'd have been gone ages ago. Quinn is furious, demanding to know why else Serafina would suddenly fire her. Thomas just shrugs, telling him to ask the boss herself, before turning to give Lucy a terrifying smile. Like, if you didn't betray the company, why are you sweating so much? But if you did, good luck. Lucy absolutely loses it and lunges at him. But she's so panicked that she trips and does a spectacular faceplant straight into the floor. Total fail. Thomas just laughs. Turns out, that bad luck warning was actually meant for her anyway. Now humiliated and furious, Lucy loses her mind entirely, scrambles up, and tries to slap Thomas right across the face. But wait. Serafina grabs her wrist midair, giving her the ultimate death stare. You dare touch my man right in front of me? She violently shoves Lucy back. Lucy stumbles back, terrified, while Luke watches, shaking at how crazy she is. Trying to attack Thomas right in front of Serafina? Shady business is one thing, but this is a literal death wish. Quinn tries to defend her again, blaming Thomas, but Serafina completely shuts him down. Do I need your permission to fire a traitor? Quinn instantly goes pale. This is literally the coldest she has ever been to him, and he is too terrified to speak. Serafina promises a full investigation and legal action against Lucy. Talk about getting ruined. She tells her to get out, and Lucy literally runs away crying in pure shame. Then Serafina grabs Thomas and drags him straight into her private office. Quinn tries to follow, but she slams the door right in his face. He is left standing there looking like a ghost. He looks over at Luke, and even Luke can tell she is acting totally wild today. Once inside, she locks the door, and Thomas instantly panics, trying to open it. Usually, Thomas hates Quinn, but right now, he would literally rather have him in the room than be alone with her. He is literally praying for Quinn to save him. But Serafina grabs his wrist, looking deep into his eyes. Why do you think I fired her? Thomas just shrugs. Because of the betrayal? My predictions are never wrong, right? She replies. I did it for you. Thomas is absolutely speechless. Whatever you do is your business, Serafina. Leave me out of it. Her cold look softens. I didn't know she treated you that way. I just found out yesterday, so I fired her. Thomas is completely confused by this, but seeing her so serious just annoys him. Like, you never cared or explained before. Why start now? Are you trying to win me back? Because it is totally pointless. Seeing his resistance, she looks totally helpless. The engagement party was my bad. I messed up. Forgive me. Thomas is bitter. But honestly, this is the first time in 7 years she has ever begged him. She actually thought this was just about some ruined party. Girl had no idea she literally just pushed him over the edge. Thomas looked her dead in the eye, totally numb. Serafina, I forgive you, but we are officially done. Can we not break up peacefully? She asked, literally putting her finger on his lips to shush him. Giving him those puppy dog eyes, she whispered, no breakups. I know I messed up. Just give me one more chance. I will throw a massive party to make up for it and stop ignoring you. Wow. His heart shattered, she knew all along. But why did she wait until he was absolutely broken and drowning in pain to suddenly play the good girlfriend? His heart was pure dust. Serafina, but then, someone started screaming from the hallway. Luke was losing his mind outside, pounding on the door like a maniac, yelling for Serafina. Mr. Quinn fainted. Just like that. While her breath was still warm on his face, Serafina bolted and ripped the door open. There was Quinn on the floor, looking pale as a ghost. And Serafina did not even hesitate. She scooped him up and sprinted for the elevator. Like, Thomas saw the whole thing. This toxic dude literally opened his eyes and smirked right at him. Oh my god, she immediately chose Quinn over Thomas, just like she did for 7 years. Like, literally 1 minute ago, she promised to never ignore Thomas again. Thomas had to take a deep breath. Meanwhile, Serafina was speeding to the hospital, already calling Dr. Holly. The doctor was waiting, totally stressed. They rushed Quinn straight into the emergency room and slammed the door shut. But wait, the second they were alone, Holly completely dropped the act and just sat down to chill. She looked at him with this giant smirk and pinched his cheek. All right, stop faking it. Your blood pressure just dropped a tiny bit. Quinn opened his eyes, looking totally guilty but also low-key embarrassed. Holly, I am sorry. I used you again. She just gently shook her head. Quinn, pretending to be sick is not going to work forever. Face it, she does not love you like that. He actually started crying. Why Thomas and not me? What does he have that I do not? She is only marrying him because he got lucky and took a knife for her. See, a year ago, she got attacked. This crazy attacker lunged, and our boy Thomas literally threw himself in front of the blade to save her life. He was in the hospital for 3 months. No wonder she finally agreed to marry him. Serafina was all about duty. Since Thomas took a literal knife for her, she felt forced to take care of him forever. Holly sighed. Serafina owed Thomas her life, but she owed Quinn too, keeping her trapped in the middle. Duty literally kept her from letting either of them go. Holly stroked Quinn's hair and promised to help him. Quinn gave her a huge hug, and then Holly walked out of the room, taking a deep breath. Serafina, you know Quinn is fragile. He was so excited to see you today. Why did he faint? Was Thomas there? Serafina's face fell. The moment Quinn went down, her mind went straight back to Thomas, left behind at the office. She called her assistant Luke, who told her Thomas walked out right after they did. She texted Thomas, but zero reply. And guess why she banned him from her office for years? Because Quinn was too fragile. Just seeing Thomas would trigger him. So she literally banned her own fiancé from her workplace. Like, is that even fair? Serafina told Holly, Quinn is really sick. I'm sending him abroad. He needs foreign medical care. Holly froze. You are shipping him away? Serafina's eyes turned cold and dark. It is better for his health, right? Holly tried to soften her voice. But he does so much better when he is near you. Serafina cut her off. I am getting married. I want kids. I cannot put my life on hold for him. Send him away. Once our wedding is official and we are legally married, you can bring him back. Then bam. The doors flew open. Quinn stumbled out, crying, and threw his arms around her. I'm not going. I will not leave you. Please do not send me away. Serafina gently pushed him back, looking totally serious. Quinn, it is for your own good. Go get better. And then you can come back. He violently shook his head. No, I am totally fine. I cannot leave you. Seeing him cry, Holly started to feel bad. Serafina, he is totally stable. He does not need to go. But Serafina stood her ground, completely cold. The doctors over there are better. This is final. Quinn is literally shaking right now. How did he get kicked to the curb like this? His queen has never been this ruthless. She just sighs, like, you are way too weak to survive on your own. I will send Holly with you. Bye. Go take a nap, she says, and just dips. Quinn is literally begging her to stay, but she just walks away. Brutal. So I am leaving the 2-group building when my bestie Carter calls, screaming, Wait, you actually went there? I was shook. I was literally in and out in 15 minutes, but Carter sounds freezing cold. He is like, you and Serafina are the ultimate drama central after that engagement disaster. Everyone is watching your every single move. The second you two walked in looking all cute, photos literally blew up in every single rich kid group chat. But what he did not tell me was that the elites were literally betting on me again. The first bet was cancelled. Now, the gossip crowd is betting on whether Serafina and I will throw another engagement party within 6 months. The audacity. So walking in together? Total social explosion. I did not need Carter to spell it out for me. I totally got it. I just laughed and asked what he bet. He wanted to bet 3 days, but says Serafina is acting crazy now. He is like, she will not let you go. Did she actually fall for you? And honestly, that changed everything. I just giggled. I used to think she liked me. But now? She is just feeling guilty, because I literally took a knife for her. I hung up on Carter, and bam, Serafina tries to FaceTime me. I just hit decline. Absolutely not. As the call rings out, she realizes I am ignoring her. Sitting in her car, she just laughs this super bitter laugh. She feels like she dug her own grave and jumped right in. It is so embarrassing, and she absolutely hates losing control. But then, my phone rings again. It is Dr. Kim, asking when I am coming in for my scar laser treatment today. I tell him I am on my way. But when I pull up and see her car already parked outside, major eye roll. Why is Serafina still lurking around here? She sees me and just struts over like she owns the place. She is like, I am coming with you. Honestly, did she skip her meds? This treatment literally takes 6 whole hours. For a busy CEO, that is a massive waste of time. After doing it twice, she swore she would never come back. I fake a smile and tell her, no thanks, it is super boring. Go back to work, you have an entire company to run. Go. Do not be late. But she does not budge. She just looks at me with this incredibly smug grin. She asks if I am scared she will see me shirtless. My face almost cracked. She did not just say that. I just shrug. Whatever, waste your own time then. Dr. Kim is waiting and leads me right into the VIP room. She tries to follow me in, but I literally hand her my coat and phone, blocking her. Wait out here, babe. She backs off. Honestly, she is too scared to look at my back. That knife wound almost put me in the ground. And it was all to save her. The door shuts, and while she is waiting, my phone suddenly buzzes. Drama incoming. She snoops and opens my messages, but the second she reads what is on the screen, she looks ready to murder someone. It is from Lucy, saying, Thomas, go look in a mirror. You really think you are worthy of marrying a CEO? You are a total loser dreaming of a queen. How does it feel being left at the altar? She obviously hates you. She does not care. Are you really that desperate to keep clinging to her? Have you no pride? I would die of embarrassment. Even if you get rid of me, you are still a loser. She will never respect you. Just go die. Serafina is literally sitting there watching these nasty, unhinged texts pop up. It is so toxic. Guys. She scrolls up and finds even more messy receipts, including a cozy pic of Lucy hovering over Quinn in his hospital bed. With the caption, Miss Serafina is busy taking care of Mr. Quinn. Do not disturb, even if it is your birthday. And then there is a video of Lucy partying with Chloe. Chloe asks if she is going to check on Thomas. Lucy just pours a drink, looking completely annoyed. She is like, nah, he is just throwing a tantrum, let him cry. Serafina keeps scrolling, and it gets worse. Tons of pics with Quinn, all captioned do not disturb. Serafina is literally gripping my phone so hard, eyes blazing with rage. She's like, how dare Lucy do this? She instantly whips out her phone and calls Tracy from legal. Find every single illegal thing Lucy has done in this company. I am going to sue her straight into a jail cell. Tracy is totally confused, but, hey. Pleasing the boss is her actual job. As soon as she gets the dirt, Tracy calls the cops, and they instantly track Lucy down. When Lucy hears the two group is suing her, she literally panics. Her only hope now is Quinn. Can he save her from prison? Okay, so Quinn literally fainted from anger over Serafina's coldness, but he woke up fast. When Lucy called, he was stable. Seeing her name, he told Dr. Holly, I have to take this, and she just nodded and walked out to let him rest. The second she left, he answered. Lucy was sobbing. Mr. Quinn, Serafina is suing me. You have to save me. Quinn completely lost it. Wait, how? Serafina does not do that. Lucy was literally shaking. I texted Thomas to trash talk him, and she caught me. Quinn was internally calling her a total idiot for leaving receipts. Plotting fast, he lied. Do not worry, I will beg Serafina to help you. I will call when I hear anything. He hung up, his sweet boy act instantly turning pure evil. What he knew was, Serafina never played nice. Lucy was basically done. No way was he wasting resources on a useless pawn. But he could still milk her for drama. She was so messy, impulsive, and selfish. He just had to use that to ruin Thomas. When I walked out of treatment, Serafina was nowhere in the lounge, so I headed straight for the exit. But then, some voice calls out from ahead. I freeze, look up, and literally raise an eyebrow. It is my dad's golden child mistake, Justin. I smile, nod, and go, you seriously need more plastic surgery. Scaring people with that face is not a good look. Justin's face contorted in pure rage, so I teased. Careful, your implants might slip. He literally touched his face in panic. Seeing me laughing, he realized he got played and turned bright red. I did not have time for this clown, but as I walked past, he grabbed me. Dad wants to know if you got the two-group deal yet. I slapped his hand away. That is his problem, not mine. If he wants a partnership, he can beg the two-group himself. Asking me is totally useless. My dad Charles had $100 million company. Sounds rich, right? But in a city packed with actual billionaires, he is basically a total nobody. He cheated nonstop, got with Justin's mom, and stole my mother's money. Then he kicked her out so his trashy new family could live in luxury. My mom took me, but she died in an accident soon after. But when he realized I was engaged to Serafina, He shamelessly crawled back to act like a loving father, always demanding I secure massive deals with the two group. Sickening, honestly. I hope he goes bankrupt and ends up begging on the streets. Help him? Keep dreaming. Justin sneered. Thomas, why are you acting all high and mighty? Think you have power? I was testing you. You got dumped at your own engagement. Aren't you humiliated? How do you even show your face in this city? If I got dumped like that, I would have ended myself already. I laughed right in his face. Why should I die? So what if Serafina and I broke things off? What is so humiliating? People call off weddings all the time. At least our relationship was public and totally legit. I looked at him with pure amusement. But what about you? The literal child of a homewrecker. You will never hold your head high as long as you live. Furious from the insult, Justin lunged straight at me. I just laughed and sidestepped him. Instantly, there was a loud pop as his bone popped out, sending him crashing down. That injury was bad, proving he wanted to seriously hurt me. I felt zero sympathy for him. I crouched down and grabbed his chin. Tell me, 3 years ago? Were you at the Emperor Club? He swatted my hand away, barking. What the hell does that matter to you? I stood up. That room was VIP, so he should not have been there. But I definitely saw him there that day. Knowing his trash personality, he probably drugged me. I glared at him. If I find out it was you, I will end you. He just laughed. Oh, what is wrong? Serafina thinks you did it. Thomas, are you not embarrassed? Even I know you would not do that, but she does not believe you. Think about it, you gave her everything. But does she even care? My chest hurt, this bitter anger rushing to my head. Even this clown Justin knew I was innocent. But Serafina? She thought I was trash. I just laughed, feeling completely defeated. I can only blame my own horrible taste. I picked the wrong girl, so I guess I will take the hit. I got up and walked off. But then, as I turned the corner, Serafina was leaning against the wall, staring right through me with those cold eyes. She startled me. You are still here? I snatched my phone back, saw she had cleared it, shoved it in my pocket, and walked right out of the hospital. She followed me, thinking about what she heard. This changed everything. Serafina's family, the Tu family, was the ultimate dynasty in this city. Her grandfather was a savage who dragged their family to the absolute peak of power. And trust me, this family drama is about to get straight up deadly. Okay, so this rich old guy had 3 sons, but only one survived, and guess what? He was a useless, wine-chugging, girl-chasing playboy, with 0 brain cells for business. Victoria was from a basic family, but she was gorgeous, so Playboy Daddy chased her hard. But plot twist, while dating, he gets wrecked in a massive car crash that totally destroys his, ability to make babies. But wait! Victoria got insanely lucky and was already pregnant with the only future heir of this entire family fortune. So boom, she marries in and becomes Mrs. Tu. But she was totally blinded by toxic love, using baby Serafina as a literal weapon to control her cheating husband. Victoria literally beat her own kid just to play the victim card, forcing her into freezing showers, making her roll downstairs, all just to guilt-trip that trash playboy into coming home. But honestly, a man's guilt only works so many times before he completely tunes it out. It got so bad that Serafina caught a deadly 105-degree fever. If the butler hadn't saved her, she was done for. When Grandpa Tu found out, he immediately snatched her away. She was only 8. But she already knew she was just a tool to everyone. Still, her useless dad kept partying. But under her grandfather's wing, Serafina grew up to be the ultimate, highly anticipated boss heir. Growing up with 0 love and massive pressure turned her into the ice queen she is today. To her, feelings were totally useless. She didn't know how to love, and she literally never did. So why was I her favorite? Because I was the only one who loved her unconditionally, no matter how toxic she got. Getting drugged by me honestly seemed normal to her. She wasn't even mad. She just went with the flow. I was her first, and she never once doubted I was the one behind it. She didn't care to understand, hated wasting time making me feel better, and absolutely did not care about my feelings. She just wanted my endless devotion. But seeing the hate in my eyes actually made her heart sting when I said I chose wrong. Accepting the consequences meant I regretted everything. I was officially taking my love back. In the car, she goes, "We missed dinner yesterday, let's eat today." I just shrugged. Suddenly, my phone starts blowing up. It's Diana. I answer, hang up, and tell Serafina, I've got something urgent to deal with at campus. Go eat alone. As I try to leave, she grabs my hand. Is she really that important? I'm like, are you sick? It's for my classes. I can't delay my graduation again. Hearing that, her hand instantly slips away. Because literally, I had to take a whole year off after taking a knife for her. That totally ruined my schedule. Otherwise, I'd be graduated by now instead of desperately begging for credits. She hesitated. But I literally bounced without looking back, hopping in a cab. Diana had called saying our professor's famous peach blossom painting was missing right before a massive competition tomorrow. That painting is locked tight in the art studio cabinet, and I am the only one with the key. I sprinted to the studio, totally out of breath. Diana was already waiting there, looking absolutely gorgeous and elegant. She literally poured me some water, looking at me with the sweetest, most caring eyes. I told you not to rush. Why are you running? Drink some water. I chugged it, ran to the cabinet, and unlocked it. Thank God, the painting was totally safe. I'll take this to the professor. Come with me, since you had it. You should be the one to hand it over. We hopped in Diana's car. So, did you get yelled at yesterday? She asked. I shook my head. Nah, but Serafina is literally driving me insane. Just mentioning her totally killed my vibe, and I hate sharing my relationship drama. Diana totally caught the vibe and didn't pry. Our professor, Mrs. Margaret, lived in a sweet apartment right near campus. The second we walked in, she grabbed my hand. Thomas, my star student. You took a whole year off. How are you feeling? Any big plans? Honestly, I felt so guilty. She had this exclusive study abroad spot for advanced training. She offered it to me a year ago, but then I took that literal knife wound for Serafina and spent a year recovering. I knew she believed in me, but painting wasn't my dream. Dancing was. I only majored in art because Serafina hated my dancing. But honestly, I was a total natural at painting. I just gave her a vague, I know, professor. I'll think about it. Mrs. Margaret patted my shoulder. It is your life, Thomas. I won't force you, but please really consider it. I nodded nicely. She glanced at her niece, Diana, and waved us goodbye because it was getting super late. I won't keep you for dinner, you two go on. I have to finish touching up this painting. So we headed out. It was dinner time, and remembering how Diana saved my butt at the police station yesterday, I said, Diana, seriously, thanks. Let me buy you dinner. I know this crazy good steakhouse. I promise you are going to love it. Diana was completely shocked. She is like, since you are offering, count me in. Show me your world. So our boy gives her a huge thumbs up. Guarantee you will love it. And she actually opens the passenger door for him. Your carriage awaits, Prince. Our boy completely lost it. Diana was actually keeping up with the latest trends. Honestly, you could never tell. She was always a massive overachiever, studying 24/7 while everyone else scrolled TikTok. She laughed, like, what? Am I a boomer to you? I might not post, but I definitely lurk on those apps. She wanted to understand how Gen Z thinks, just to get closer to the one person she actually cares about. Suddenly, the romantic lighting hits, and guys, her eyes are literally sparkling. The tension is real, and the air gets super thick. His chest is literally exploding, so he panic switches the topic. Diana, step on the gas, let us go. If they are late, they will wait forever. But she did not care about his deflection. I have waited 4 years, what is a bit more? His heart is racing. He was not crazy, Diana actually likes him. And boom, they finally pull up to the restaurant. He hyped up the place. But she shook her head, saying she prefers healthy food and usually cooks her own meals. Western food is not really her thing, but he smiles. Steak will not make you gain weight, and this spot is literally elite. She nodded. Like, okay. If you recommend it, I must try. But what if I get totally addicted to it? Then she drops a bomb. You will have to be my eating partner forever, no excuses. Our boy is blushing hard. If you love it, we will come back. And guys, she smiles like a warm spring breeze, absolutely stunning. They grab his usual spot, and she hands him the menu. You are the regular, so you order. He nods, recommending the amazing raw beef fillet. I will get that for you, he says, and she agrees. Honestly, Diana is so polite and has the most perfect manners ever. Her eyes were full of pure love. It was a total vibe shift from Serafina, whose cold, heartless stare never actually looked at him. She had no idea how much that icy gaze hurt. But wait. He catches himself comparing Serafina to Diana again. Why is he even doing that? Is he crazy? They are polar opposites. He literally slaps his own face to knock Serafina out of his head. Then, he and Diana lock eyes and smile. The vibe is officially warm, fuzzy, and super cozy. But what they did not know was that someone in the next booth was watching their every move. Veronica quickly snaps a photo. Honestly, the picture was immaculate. The lighting was perfect and their chemistry was insane, especially when Diana wiped his mouth. Her eyes are dripping with love, and he is just smiling like crazy. They look like a couple on a super hot date. Veronica immediately sends it to Serafina with a crazy toxic caption. Thomas is totally cheating on you, girl. Meanwhile, Serafina is chilling at her villa, dramatically swirling a glass of wine. Her mind keeps racing back to how he walked out today without even a second thought. When she wanted dinner, he did not care at all. But back in the day, if she came home, he would cook a massive feast of her favorites. He would wait up for her no matter how late it got. Even when she got stuck at work after promising to come home. He would wait past midnight, but today, he literally does not care. She is seriously starting to lose her mind. It all started when the engagement got cancelled. Suddenly, her phone buzzes, and what she sees makes her eyes literally pop out. Thomas is cheating on you. She panics and instantly opens the chat. Veronica sent pics of him and Diana having dinner. Diana looks gorgeous and gentle, and he is just smiling at her so bright. Diana smiles back with pure warmth. Serafina gets a sharp stab of jealousy, realizing he has not smiled at her like that in forever. Her face goes ice cold, and she instantly hits FaceTime. Meanwhile, back at the restaurant, some pepper sauce gets on his lip. Diana is such a queen, she gently takes a tissue and wipes it away for him. He freezes, then smiles. Thanks, Diana. She looks at him with pure affection, telling him to eat slowly. She is like, I will take you out more often. He smiles, knowing he needs to dump Serafina as soon as possible. Pure romance is calling his name. But then, his phone rings. It is a FaceTime call from Serafina. He frowns, keeps a straight face, and instantly hits Do Not Disturb, totally ignoring her. It times out, and a text pops up asking where he is and when he is coming back. He acts completely blind to it. She realizes he is ghosting her and calls again. This time, he cold-heartedly turns his phone completely off and blocks her number for good measure. Serafina is so absolutely furious in that greenhouse, her rage could literally shatter the glass. All she gets is a glaring red exclamation mark. But right then, Veronica drops a video. And oh my god. So the video literally caught the exact moment Serafina called him. And he just did not care. Total silence. He saw her text and ignored it. And by call number 2, he was so disgusted he just shut his phone off. And then Serafina literally chucked her phone straight into the greenhouse glass. It exploded instantly, and even though a glass shard sliced her forehead open, she was too angry to even feel it. She was absolutely fuming. But since our boy Thomas turned off his phone, his world was finally peaceful. Diana definitely noticed him turning it off, but she was such a queen and did not ask. Talk about a green flag. Her boundary king energy made him feel so respected, and their dinner ended past 9. She offered to drive him home, and he did not say no. She just smiled and thanked him for the dinner. She said driving him was the least she could do. He waved from the door after she dropped him at his villa. He told her to text when she got home, and she was like, only if your phone is actually on. He waited for her car to disappear before heading inside, pulling his phone out to switch it back on. But the second he stepped inside, someone literally snatched his phone and chucked it straight into the indoor koi pond. He yelled, "Are you insane?" Only to see Serafina staring back at him with pure rage in her eyes. She screamed, "What is the point of having a phone if you never answer my texts or calls?" He laughed right in her face. "Oh, so now you are mad? How many times did you completely ignore my calls in the past? Now that I do it, you lose your mind? Let me spell it out. I just do not want to talk to you. I do not want to text you. I am officially ignoring you." He told her he just wants a clean breakup, so he can spend his life with Diana. And Serafina completely exploded. "You want to break up? You want to love another woman? Keep dreaming, Thomas, because you are never, ever leaving me in this lifetime." And with that, she literally dragged him upstairs. The maid, Auntie Martha, saw the whole thing but was too terrified to step in. She had never seen Serafina act this completely unhinged before, and this fight was next level. Serafina aggressively dragged him into her room and shoved him onto her massive bed. Before he could even react, she pinned him down, totally locking him in place. He suddenly realized what she was doing and panicked, but she actually came prepared. The second he opened his mouth to yell, she shoved a pine. She actually brought a gag, guys. Pure villain behavior. She literally gagged him, ripped his shirt, and tied his hands to the headboard like a total psychopath. Talk about toxic. He was absolutely fuming, but she just started aggressively kissing his neck anyway. He fought back hard, but then she yanked his pants down. Totally defeated, he just shut his eyes and froze. Mid-kiss, she finally realized she messed up. She froze up as her last brain cell booted back up. She felt a stab of guilt and hoarsely asked if he was okay. But our boy just stared back with pure, unadulterated hatred. Her heart ached again, so she quickly covered his eyes and started whispering in his ear, "Do not be scared. This time I will make sure you feel the pleasure. 2. Absolutely nobody could stop her. She dragged him straight to heaven, only to drop him right back to hell. She was on a wild, manic level. She actually used this crazy gentle voice to whisper about their engagement party, saying she was sorry. She promised to throw a bigger party, but as he literally passed out, he just smiled in absolute despair. Like, no way. He is never marrying her. But next morning, he woke up right to her freezing cold stare. But wait, today she actually looked affectionate, kissing his forehead and telling him to come eat with her. She dragged him downstairs while he watched her closely. Meanwhile, Aunt Martha was down there cooking up some chicken stew. The poor maid served them, looking totally worried because she had never seen Serafina act so wild and unhinged the night before. But she is just a maid, so she could not exactly step in, even if he smiled to show her he was fine. He thanked Aunt Martha and literally devoured the food in seconds. Honestly, the man was starving. That crazy night took everything out of him. Then, Serafina hands him a new phone, admitting blocking him was her fault. She is like, answer my calls from now on. He just gave a quiet hum, not even trying to fight back anymore. Her eyes actually looked super soft and tender. If she had shown this sweet side just once over 7 years, he would not be so broken. But then, she leaned in close, whispering something that changed everything. So this absolute psycho asks if last night was comfortable. To shut her up, he lazy answers, yeah, totally. And she actually giggles. Then she says they are continuing tonight. He totally froze. Talk about majorly underestimating this girl. Like, who knew the high and mighty Serafina would play this dirty? But then, her phone rings, and she answers with a cold, I know. She snaps, I will be right there. Tell the vice president to do the trip. I am busy planning things for the next month. Then she gives him these soft eyes, and says she wants to get engaged. His hands go stiff, but he keeps a total poker face. She plants a kiss on his cheek, saying work came up and she has to run, but she will pick him up for dinner tonight. He tries to speak, but she completely shuts him down, snapping, no refusing. He clenches his fists and agrees, making her smug smile wider. The second she finally walks out that door, he lets out this massive sigh of relief. All of Serafina's fake sweet act and that hyped-up engagement party are literally just a toxic trap to lock him down. She struts out, feeling like a boss, convinced her crazy power trip last night completely broke Thomas and chained him to her forever. But the exact second she vanishes behind that closed door, his obedient mask instantly shatters, replaced by a terrifyingly cold glare. Did she seriously think a fancy party could heal a heart she has been destroying for 7 years? Not a chance. This engagement is not going to be her big victory. Instead, it is the perfect trap for Thomas to light the fuse and burn this toxic relationship to the ground in front of everyone. The ultimate great escape is officially about to get so wild.